Hi, Yoav, and welcome to this week's Top 5 Security Facts. We're going to begin locally, where despite a week of fatal terror attacks, Israel's security cabinet has declined to impose restrictions on Palestinian freedom of movement into Israel, as well as other security steps, all in an effort to avoid escalation. Ideas that were rejected by the security cabinet included restricting Gazan fishing waters to prevent smuggling, rescinding 20,000 Gaza worker entry permits to Israel, and placing age restrictions on Temple Mount access. Instead, the cabinet chose to increase the amount of security forces active in the West Bank and street cops in Israel. And staying with that wave of deadly terror attacks across Israeli cities, citizens are looking to arm up. Permit applications are up well over 1,000% at this point, as Israel's own prime minister urges citizens to go armed to protect themselves and others. This follows a full year of doubled applications since riots in May, but despite the push for more weapons, the actual number of active permits have dropped by about 20% in recent years. I'll tell you more about that later in the show. And has Russian President Vladimir Putin been disastrously misinformed by his own generals and advisors about the progress of the war in Ukraine? A set of bombshell claims by U.S. and British intelligence suggests that military planners and bureaucrats directly lied to Putin out of fear of reporting the truth. The reports say that Putin has been misled about his own military's readiness and ability to deliver a swift victory, and also misled about the full extent of international sanctions on the Russian economy. In the face of the military quagmire, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is pushing for more diplomatic solutions.
Yes, there is an ongoing negotiation process, but these are still just words, no specifics so far. There are also other words about the alleged withdrawal of the Russian troops from Kiev and Chernihiv, about the alleged reduction of the occupiers' activities directions. We know that this is not a withdrawal, but the results of the pushback, the results of the work of our defenders. But we also see that at the same time there is an accumulation of the Russian troops for new strikes in Donbass, and we are preparing for this.
And North Korea has tested a banned long-range intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time since 2017 and released this dramatic propaganda video with it. It's also one of the more powerful missiles that North Korea has tested to date, reaching an altitude of more than 3,700 miles before falling somewhere in Japanese waters. South Korea responded with 5 test launches of their own from land, sea, and air, as the United States condemned this as a brazen violation of UN Security Council agreements. North Korea has launched a massive series of missile tests in recent weeks and months, as analysts say the country is attempting to threaten the United States away from defending South Korea. And finally, Russian oligarch turned peacemaker Roman Abramovich has apparently shuttled between Kiev and Moscow in recent weeks, delivering direct messages to each side of the conflict. But now emerging reports that claim that Abramovich showed symptoms of suspected poisoning after a meeting in Kiev earlier in the month. Sources claim he blames a suspected attack on hardliners in Moscow, allegedly because they wanted to sabotage talks to end Russia's war in Ukraine. The 3 have apparently recovered. And that's it for this week, but stay tuned for the top security news from all around the world.